much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Penn and Teller Fool Us, the show with more magic than Magic Mike, but far less impressive bodies. Instead of Channing Tatum pulling off his shirt, you'll say today's hottest illusionist trying to pull one over on the all-time legends of legerdemain. If they can do it, they'll earn a one-night stand with Penn and Teller as part of their nightly Vegas spectacular. And boy, is the talent backstage incredible. This is the only program around where, if Kanye West storms the stage, our acts can actually make him disappear. Now let's meet an act that hasn't disappeared for over 35 years. The duo who've seen it all, they've done it all, and the one who said it all, Penn and Teller! Gentlemen, if you'd like to take your chairs, the show can get started. Penn and Teller, ladies and gentlemen. So sit back and get ready to be amazed, because it's time to meet our first magician.
My name is Blake Voigt, and I am obsessed with magic. I was a pretty socially awkward kid growing up. Most people, when they're younger, find it easy to go up and meet someone and say hi, and I found it easier to say hi, pick a card. Creeped out. I dropped out of college to pursue working for David Copperfield in Las Vegas, and I've been making my living the last few years creating magic for television and movies. Whenever I've been working for all these other magicians, I give them all of my ideas, but this trick I'm performing tonight, I've held on to for myself for over 4 years, so I'm very excited to finally get to debut it.
Go crazy for the superbly gifted Blake Voigt.
The linking rings. None of you seem into this. Okay, how about the linking squares? Pretty cool. You can cut the music. Thank you. I don't mean to start off my performance by making fun of a classic of magic. I love the linking rings. It's one of my favorite. It's just there's a few things with it that I think could be better. And so I would like to show you guys my version of the linking rings, but instead of using those props, I'd like to use a borrowed object from someone in the audience. So if you have a $1 bill on you, either in your wallet or in your purse, if you wouldn't mind pulling it out now, that would be great. Now, I'll let you know that I'm going to be destroying your dollar bill during this trick. So I don't want you to have to pay to see a magic trick, so I'm going to trade you my bill for yours. You, sir, do you mind if I borrow your bill?
You got it.
You got it. Okay, cool. Now I have to ask you, is there anything sentimental about this bill?
No.
So you don't mind if I destroy it? And then you can keep mine, but before I commit to destroying your bill, if you wouldn't mind looking at that camera right there and just say, I accept responsibility. Oh, thumbs up? Thumbs up works. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. Give him a round of applause for volunteering. That's great. Now, this is a smaller trick. It's kind of a close-up trick since I can't use the big rings. So if you, Penn and Teller, wouldn't mind joining me on stage, that would be awesome. Thank you. Penn, if you wouldn't mind sitting here.
You want me in this too?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Teller, good to see you. Please sit here. Thank you so much. Now, since this is already a unique bill, this gentleman kindly volunteered, I'm going to make it a little bit more unique by asking you guys to sign the bill. Just like that. Penn, if you wouldn't mind signing there. Thank you. And Teller, if you wouldn't mind signing on that line. Thank you so much. Now, this bill, you could argue that now is worth more than $1 with your guys' autographs on there.
At least a buckle one.
So I'm going to take this a step further now, and actually, if you thought, like, writing on money was illegal, I'm going to take this to the hardcore level of tearing it. This trick is intense so far, right? So I'm going to tear it right down the middle, just like this. Now, Teller, if you wouldn't mind holding on to this half for me, I'm going to have you do a few things with that half in just a moment. But first, I'm going to ask you to fold it in half. If you could go ahead and do that, that would be great. So what we're going to do is actually form the 2 rings for the trick instead of using the giant silver one. So we're going to tear out the center of each of these halves. So if you don't mind just tearing out a circle, leaving about a 1/2-inch border around the bill, and I'll do the same thing here with my half. Exactly. It's kind of like that deep. Perfect. So there we go. Get rid of my middle. Now what I'm going to do is take your half, and I'm going to try to create the illusion that they're linked, if that makes any sense. So it's going to use origami and kind of misdirection and a little bit of an optical illusion. So if I hold them just straight like this, you'll see that they start to look like they're linked. But that's just an optical illusion. The origami in magic starts to look a lot better whenever you open one of the bills, and then whenever you open the other one, they really look like they're linked. Pretty cool? Now, thank you. Now, obviously, this is just an optical illusion. You know they're not actually linked, so Teller, if you mind just holding up one finger for me. Just like that, the longer you stare at the illusion, the more you start to realize that they are not actually linked. Thank you. So I'm going to try to do this one more way, but make this different than anything you've seen before. But in order to do that, I'm going to hand you the bills in a moment. But because of the legal issues with this trick and destroying money on television, tell her I'm actually going to need you to accept responsibility for these. So Penn, if you don't mind saying into the camera, tell her accepts responsibility.
Tell her accepts responsibility for all federal crimes done within the next 2 hours. Anywhere in the USA.
Perfect. Amazing. So now that we've got that out of the way, I'm going to try this one final time for you. So you can see the two bills here, and on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. The link. Now, what makes this link slightly different is if Teller, do you mind grabbing right here with your right hand? At this point in the trick, instead of unlinking them, you can examine everything. And that's the end of the trick. Thank you.
Great work, ladies and gentlemen. That was great. Guys, you can take those back to your seats so you can continue examining them. How good was that, ladies and gentlemen? It was out of this world. Especially bearing in mind, you have Penn and Teller, two of the keenest minds and two of the sharpest eyes in magic, staring right at what you're doing. So for you to do that in front of them, you've either got to be pretty confident about what you do or just insane.
A little bit of both, probably.
It seemed an especially brave or foolhardy thing to do to let them take that away, but I guess that's part of the whole trick you're playing on them, is it?
All or nothing, I guess.
Okay, so you're being pretty crafty right now.
I'm hoping so.
Let's go to Penn now and find out what they thought. Penn, your verdict, please.
We know this guy. And we have seen the work that this guy can do with a piece of paper. We've seen things he's done, close-up tricks for us, and he has shown us afterwards how he did it. Maybe not with a lot of foresight for this show tonight.
If I would have known I would have been here, I might have handled that differently.
Because he can do anything with a piece of paper. And I'll tell you, our eyes and our fingernails are not good enough to see how you made these bills into essentially what ends up being a paper version of a locking ring. And then put in our hands. Which means not only are your hands very skillful, but you also have gonads the size of Texas. We saw a few of the things you were doing because there's no way in this trick to put in any sort of real misdirection. Because when you need to do the dirty work, we're staring at your hands.
Right.
This is just raw skill. We know what he's doing and when he's doing it, and he just does it so well that we can't see the seams, but we saw the seams being made.
So they know what you're doing?
Yes, they do.
You didn't fool them?
No, I did not.
Well, you fooled the rest of us. That was an incredible performance.
He was fooling the world except for us.
What a great act. Great void, ladies and gentlemen. Superb. Great stuff. Thank you so much. We're going to take a break, but we will be back with more magic, including a performance by the legendary Penn and Teller, so stay close.